myself, Mr. Fowler, Ms. Felter is absent. I think we have two present. We have a quorum, so item number one, to consider final adoption of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to renew the existing contract with Janitress Cleaning and Staffing LLC for janitorial services at the wastewater and lab testing buildings. I think I spoke briefly with the mayor about this matter, and my concern was just the price. It was so less than the other bids.
They did it last year for that.
Yeah.
Side to side, they were happy.
Yeah, well, the mayor just told me that, so I was just kind of surprised that, that bid was just so cheap, but the mayor's given a glowing report
Yeah,
to the company.
at wastewater and lab testing, they say she does a great job. It is locally owned. It is a female-owned business, and I believe a minority female-owned business.
Okay.
She is killing it. They love it. I don't know. I mean, she's winning the bid, so I guess she's pricing it as what works for her to win it every time. Maybe that's part of her thought is I'm gonna take this down every time. I think this is year 3 of a 3-year, so this will be her last year in, Councilman, and then she'll bid again, and maybe so this is the last of
Okay.
those years, so that's kind of part of it too. So when she bids again, we'll see. I would tell you that, people like her work. There's probably other opportunities for her to do some more.
It could be she's trying to get her foot in the door and show what she could do. And I'll make a motion to accept it.
All right, is there a second? Well, no, we don't do a second.
You do a motion, a second, no vote.
Motion to second? All right, and that's it. All right, so thank you for the report. That convenes the Legal Affairs Committee. That's it. That's all I wanted to know.
Please come to order.
Tuesday.
The Alexandria City Council meeting and council committee meetings are broadcast live. It may be viewed live by the public on Optimum Cable 4. Broadcast may be viewed on Optimum Cable 4 in the city of Alexandria, Louisiana website. We're going to have the invocation by Councilman Green and the pledge of allegiance by Councilman Lawrence.
Lord, as we come once again to work for the betterment of our community and our city and our state, we ask that you give us guiding minds and leading hearts to work together to bring this community together for the good of all. These in your son's name we ask. Amen.
Amen. Please face the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Johnson?
Here.
Ms. Felter? Here. Mr. Green?
Present.
Mr. Fowler?
Yes.
Mr. Villar?
Here.
Mr. Lawberdam? Ms. Perry?
Here.
Madam President, you have a quorum.
Okay. E, approval of the minutes taken from the regular meeting held on January 28, 2025. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second. Oh,
Okay. Okay, so we have a motion by Councilman Fowler and a second by Councilman Green. And do we have any public comments? Mr. White, is this the one you want to speak on?
Yes, ma'am. The only thing, my name is Mr. Cornelius Lawson White Jr., 3638 10th Street in Alexandria, Louisiana, 71302. My phone number is area code 318-446-6934. At the last city council meeting, the two gentlemen for the city never did come up here, so that was a discrepancy. I know you didn't know about it because you were just starting and this was your second meeting. But it would be good because I believe you're supposed to be up here at the podium to be on the record, if I understand it correctly. And I noticed that discrepancy that those city workers weren't up here at the podium. They just took questions from right there at their seats.
So you would like for them to come to the podium when they're
They
speaking?
should, because it would be on the record.
Yes, sir. Well, we can do that.
And I asked you last time, because you being the first African-American and this being Black
That's not,
History Month.
Mr. White, we're going to talk about that, not at this time, okay? But I appreciate what you want to say.
Wait. So you say I can't speak about
No,
something
sir.
about, no, but it's about the minutes. What I'm asking is that I don't want to get beat down like these other two. I know, I'm just saying, just hear me out.
No, Mr. White, hold on.
Hear me out.
Hold on just a second. Last week you say we wasn't going to fight. We're not going to fight up here.
Okay.
All I'm going to do is you're going to respect me and I'm going to respect
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Okay, so that has nothing to do with the minutes. So if it's something else that you need to talk about that was pertaining to the approval of the minutes, you're more than welcome to do that. Hold on, let me say one
Okay.
more thing.
All right.
And I'm not going to tell you how to speak, but that coming up here with that beat down, I'm beat down, I got beat down, we got to move past that.
Well, I can't move past that. I've been wearing.
Meeting,
Yes.
we're going to respect each other. So,
Well, I don't want to get
No.
beat down no more. Like I
No,
said, I had enough
okay, you
of
can
beat
have a
down.
seat, Mr. White. How about that? How about that? How about you just have a seat?
Well, let me ask you something. One more question. One more question. So you say I can't ask you a question.
What is the question?
Question is, years ago, you had freedom of speech in this.
No, sir, Mr. White.
No, we didn't have freedom of speech.
This is not what this meeting is about. This is not what this item about. So no, sir.
Can I ask for a vote for freedom
No,
of speech?
Mr. White,
No
I'm
vote.
asking you nicely and respectfully. And this is how we're going to do it. So your time is up. and I'm gonna ask you to have
My
a seat.
time is up. Did the buzzer go off?
Your time is up because you're not talking to what is pertained on the item.
Okay.
Okay, so
Now my
that's it,
time's
Mr.
up. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Discussion. Discussion.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carry.
F, resolution number 1, resolution to request for proposal for the 2024-25 annual audit.
Motion, please.
Move.
Second.
Second. I'll second.
Motion by Councilman Fowler, second by Councilwoman Felter. Any public comments? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Number 2, resolution authorizing advertisement for bid for construction and maintenance materials.
Motion, please.
Move.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Ballard, second by Councilman Johnson. Public comments? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Number 3, resolution setting a public hearing to be held on March the 25th, 2025, taking action on the cost of demolition of one commercial structure.
Motion, please.
Second.
You going to time out, Mr. Lord.
That's my first time.
A motion by Councilman Fowler, second by Councilman Ballard. Public comments? Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Number 4, resolution setting a public hearing to be held on March the 25th, 2025, to consider condemnation of 25 structures within the city.
Motion, please.
Move.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Council Ballard, second by Councilman Fowler. Public,
Madam President,
I'm sorry.
we'll go ahead until you get to the discussion, I'm sorry.
Okay. Public comments? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. I almost didn't make it. I do have bronchitis. I don't claim it, but I have it. But I needed to speak about this. I'm just wanting to give honor to the mayor's administration and all of the council members. I'm just Sandra Augustine, just a citizen concerned. I'm so thankful that we're getting these 25 structures torn down. But I do want to make mention again about the structure that I've had on the list for about 10 years at the corner of Kelly and 16th Street. It belongs to Kinder. It's been there, and it's just deplorable. I'm just wondering why it's not being on the list. I don't care if he tears it down. He don't have to. He can just move it and put it to where his neighborhood is, because it's just been there for homeless people to just lord the neighborhood, coming in and out of there, doing their drugs, falling out on the street right by my house, and I'm just wondering why it's taken so long for that structure. Thank you for all you do.
Setting a public hearing.
Okay.
Public comment?
No, we did. Discussion?
All right, yeah, I have a couple of questions. Okay, go ahead, Mr.
Mr. President, I did speak with Mr. Richard Johnson, the Director of Planning, and he would like this item to be amended to March 11th. One of you would propose this amendment. Vote on it, please.
So moved.
Second.
She has to ask for the second, right? You have to
Yeah.
ask for it, okay. All right.
I didn't say anything.
What was the date moved to?
March 11th.
March 11th.
March 11th, I'm sorry.
So we good?
Still 30 days out.
Tell me.
It's a motion already on the floor. The first motion was made by,
Me.
By Mr. Valor.
I'll
and
pull
the
it.
second motion was made by.
Mr. Fowler.
So
I'll
we
pull my
would
motion in.
Withdraw your motion.
You withdraw?
Restate mine.
Okay.
Okay, now let's take a vote on March 11th.
So we need to vote on,
Right, to amend it to.
to amend it to March 11th.
Correct. We need a motion,
Need a motion, please? Second?
Second?
and now we need a motion and a second as amended.
Another motion, please.
Yeah, okay, you vote, and then do a motion and a second. to
Okay. Roll call. Do
You
you,
don't have to.
you don't have
Just,
to? Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor? Okay, any opposed? Motion
And
carried.
we need to make a motion and a second as amended.
Okay,
So moved.
second.
There's some discussion I want to have about that, but will I get a chance?
Okay, yes.
Yes,
All right.
yes.
All right, so talk now?
Mhm.
All right. Mayor, how long does it take for the administration to get these 25 structures in line to be condemned?
Be varying times.
I mean,
I mean, if you tell me ahead of time, I could get the exact for each of them.
all right.
It doesn't even list the structure, so I don't have
Okay,
that.
okay. Well, I guess another question is,
This is just to set a hearing on the structures.
okay, I understand that, and I'm all for it. I mean, I wish we could do more. What's the, can you give me the average cost per structure, or just a
It's
ballpark?
various.
Again, different for every
Yeah, it's
structure.
various, they're various.
No telling what it is.
It
Different
all
for every
depends
structure.
if you got.
To average, it would have no
asbestos.
meaning to us because they're so different.
Okay,
Commercial building versus a small
residential.
house, a
It has
residential.
asbestos in it, or it doesn't.
Okay, now, I guess now.
If there's abatement, there's all kind of issues, but if you have a set of questions, I can answer any of them if you let me know ahead.
Okay, well, what I'll do is I'll submit some questions for you to have answered. All right, thank you.
You good?
Well,
I'm good. I'm good.
Mr. Goins, do you have any more comment? That's it, okay.
All in favor?
All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried.
Number 5, resolution authorizing advertisement for bids for janitorial supplies.
Motion, please. Motion by Councilman Ballard, second by Councilman Johnson. Public comments? Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried.
G, ordinances for final adoption, subject to public hearing. Number 6, to consider final adoption of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept the low bid submitted for transit tire lease for A-Trans.
Motion, please.
Move.
Second.
Second.
Moved by Councilman Ballard, second by Councilman Lawberdane. Public comments? Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried.
Number 7, to consider final adoption of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to renew the existing contract with Janitress Cleaning and Staffing LLC for janitorial services at the wastewater and lab testing buildings.
Move.
Time out.
Okay, my bad.
Second.
Second.
Go to timeout.
Yeah, I'm going to time out.
Motion by Councilman Lawberdane, second by Councilman Johnson. Public comments? Discussion? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried.
Number 8, to consider final adoption of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept the low bid submitted for bulk fuel for vehicles and equipment for use by various departments.
Motion, please. Second.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Fowler, second by Councilman Ballard. Public comments? Discussion?
Madam President,
Yes, sir.
I did see where the administration received, four council members received an email from McCartney Oil Company. I will tell the council that purchasing reviewed each response, and after their review, it was determined that Petroleum Traders had the lowest response, and legally we reviewed all of the responses and determined that because of their .2941 average score, that they were the lowest responsive bidder subject to section 5.1 of the bid package. So I just wanted to clarify that in case any of you have any questions about the email I just received.
Just for my knowledge, so when we buy bulk fuel for, I guess for the police cars and the fire trucks, we have a certain place that's set up and we just go pick it up, with a big tanker?
Yes, so we have a fueling farm. It's located at the city compound.
Okay.
You guys been filling those out there?
Don't joke like that.
Okay.
People believe it.
And so I guess when they get low, they'll notify us and we'll go ahead and put another bid in for it. It's just a one bid per year. How does it work?
It's an add-on fence to there.
Okay.
Good evening, Elena. So the deliveries are to the compound at those fueling stations and at 2 other delivery points as well. So whenever Motor Pool actually keeps track of that, so whenever it is low, we put in another order and then they will come and refill it. So very similar to a gas station that
Okay.
you would go to, like a Chevron or something. Yeah.
It looks
And so, but this is
like
for a
gas.
year, so we'll have that pricing in place for a year.
Okay.
Yeah, so as soon as it
Yeah.
gets low, they're notified, they come in, they refuel, and then everything carries on as normal.
Just like a motor pool.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is.
Yes, sir.
So,
It looks exactly like what you see. In fact, it looks like a nice gas station,
okay.
islands and all.
Any more comments? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried.
Number 9, to consider final adoption of an ordinance authorizing the mayor to accept the low bid submitted for statewide flood control capital improvement project, Augusta Avenue Fairground Machine Shop Flood Control.
Motion, please.
Move.
Second.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Ballard, second by Councilman Fowler. Public comments, Mr. White?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam President. On this, I believe Mayor Hall started with this project, and the governor, then John Bell Edwards, to get this money for flood mitigation for the lower third area where I live at, 10th and Augusta. And it's about time that this be fixed, because that backwater, like the mayor had pointed out, once they get to Avoyelles Parish, they block the water off so it doesn't go into their fields and everything. And now we're going to divert it toward the Red River. So, all the homes over there don't get flooded anymore.
None of that is true.
This
It's not a Jeff Hall project, it's a me project, and
It's yours.
not the same.
So you're saying Jeff Hall didn't get any money?
This is not the project he's talking about. This is a completely different project.
Oh, it's a different one.
The
Yeah.
project he's talking about is the
Can-
Chatlin Outfall
That
project.
Chatwin
Can you
Outfall.
explain to him, Mayor Roy, your project, please?
Yes, I'd like to hear that.
So the project is here. This project is the Augusta Street project.
Right.
Charles's house that we talked about.
Yes.
Chatlin Outfall project also started in my administration. It carried through Jeff's administration and is now back. It's taken that many years, and we talked about that in
Right.
this meeting. This is not that project. This is the Augusta Street project to add generators to pumping stations that are right on that outside where on Augusta, in that area, in 14th, you have those houses that are just in that several block area that are still able to, in the right range, to take some serious water. Most of Jones Street in that area has been corrected over the years, as you know, and is raised up and doing better. That area has still, and I hate to be personal about his house, but he's in the building, in his house and in the building next door, where there are several duplexes that go all the way up to Willa Glen, that we still have some major issues. Back in the huge flood in Gustav, all of that was, we had trucks going through and we're having to pull people from those homes. So this will pull as much water as we can, subject to it still being, Ms. Perry, low, as you know,
Right.
So it's not just to get the water out as fast as you can, it's also how low that is in terms of below base flood elevation. It's
This is
still
an
low.
in-house project, right?
This was a 90-10 project with money that we received from the Louisiana Watershed
Watershed Initiative.
Initiative, and I believe that it remained 90-10. So at $2 billion, we're doing really well with this from our expense versus what the state picks up.
Excuse me, Madam President, the pump on 10th Street, is this included over?
Yeah.
It's right on the canal?
This is adding 2 additional
Adding.
pumps and backup generators to it.
Okay. Has that pump
So
in
it's
the last
new.
4 years been replaced?
I don't
think
know
so.
offhand what pump you're talking about.
It's
This is 2 new pumps with generators.
on 10th Street, it's behind Lewis Roberts' house. Principal Roberts,
I think you're talking about what we call the Pappin Station.
Pappin Street,
Yeah.
correct.
I'll get the answer for you.
Okay.
I don't know by heart if it's been, when it was
Okay,
last.
because I know in 4 years it was in this rate, but I know we said Augusta Street, we're moving all the water, and the water's being pumped that direction because it was bad.
Yeah,
And everything is needed down that area. All right, I wanted to make sure, I was asking that question, sir. Thank you.
we call it Pappin, but you're actually more correct about it. It's actually Pappin's the other side. It's always been called that by
Pappin,
everybody,
but, yeah.
but it's on the it's on the
All
south
of
side.
Augusta, because Augusta go across there, I believe, huh?
Madam President, have a comment?
Augusta, yeah.
Yes.
All right, Mayor Roy, is this improvement a part of an overall, I guess, improvement project? Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, after this is done, are there any other projected improvements?
Yes.
Yeah, the
okay.
one.
So the Chatelain Outfall Project would be the biggest, if you're thinking about an overall movement of water out of the city, and we discussed a few weeks ago and other times, and I've given some briefings, and should do it at least once a year for you guys, just to remind you, there's several ways that water leaves the city, but the vast majority, much more than 65%, maybe as much as 80, at some point will enter into the Chatelain outfall to leave the area. So if you think of all the different water diversion bodies, they end up roughly, that huge percent, over 65%, ends up at the Chatelain and then all the way out into Avoyelles Parish, ultimately into where Bayou Cartable is, all the way in Fort Barry, Louisiana, then to the Chafla, then to the Gulf. Bayou Rapides has a piece that dumps into the river, but we much less deal with that. That's only in certain times of flood stage. That's not really drainage for the city. And then the one other big one would be the diversion canal that runs on the side of Menard and Windermere and goes out to the Bayou Buff area.
Enactment, right? That's right, enactment.
Correct. And so that one goes out to Buff, but truly Buff, way outside, meets back up with that whole Chatelain floodplain, and it all becomes one again. So the Chatelain, if you just think of that name, is really the water diversion system for Alexandria from a percentage standpoint, even if it's not where it meets up right off of Hudson and all that you all know and see, it will ultimately meet up even in the Buff system way out and go all the way, as I said, to roughly Port Barry, Bayou Cartable, all that. So it's huge that it be able to be relieved. If you imagine all these other bodies are pouring into it, whether it's the Horseshoe Drainage Canal, Henson, all of those are ultimately going into it. And the theory behind the Chatelain Outfall Project, it's the project Mr. White was actually talking about, is that you would divert water, and so it doesn't build up just in the city, into the river before it has to do that. So right now, Bayou Rapides can carry it into the river, but only if it's at a certain stage, so it's not really super useful to us. Here, you would have a project that could divert water before it bottlenecks right outside of Hudson and all that, and you would have a chance to divert it sooner. And so it is a big part of an overall project. And then further to answer your question, there are a system of projects that we're using, but I wanted you to picture in your head, that's the way it's going. So when you hear of these larger projects, they're always trying to fit in that vector, if you will, in that line.
And this improvement is overall designed to prevent flooding, like, I guess, what happened in Gustav. This would have
Prevent backup. You could not have prevented Gustav for the event probably in September of that year because it's volumetric. It's the amount of rain and the speed at which it falls. But yes, in theory, could have helped in Gustav. You're right, because Gustav was falling on saturated ground, and in theory, if everything had been pumped down or could have been, you would have had less. I don't think Gustav stops, but think of all the rains we have prevented by cleaning out and having better movement. Those would have made it in houses and don't. Nearly the percentage it used to. We're seeing a big, big improvement.
The water that falls on our golf course, which is 100 yards from Bayou Rapides, ends up in the Chafla River.
Wow. Yeah. Instead of So in Gustav, there are some weird rains, Mr. Lawverdane, where you, in theory, if one area was low enough, you can what's called back divert or back channel the water and flow it, what's called a contraflow. You flow it the other way than design, and you'd flow it, instead of it going out past Menard and all the way to the Bayou Buff area, you'd backflow it into Bayou Rapides, and it could then divert to the Red River. And so, those have to be rains where either gravity or pumping helps you do that. But that's not the design.
We've done that in the past, though.
We have a system set up that came about because of Gustav, where on the proper order from us, Bayou, RAB, the Red River Chaffalot Bayou Buff Levee District, will contraflow the water.
You good?
I'm good.
You good?
Madam President?
Yes.
After you all finish this discussion, I do want to answer Councilman Lauderdale's question about the demolition timeline. Just got a text from the planning department. Okay. It takes 30 days after the property is condemned by city council for demolition activity to begin, because we have to send notices to the owners. The average residential demolition takes 2 to 3 days. Commercial structures can be 5 days to 30 days, depending on the complexity. We have 4 rotating contractors on our list. We're generally able to get 25 structures demolished within 30 to 45 days.
That's pretty fast.
End of April, early May.
That's pretty quick.
That's after all the paperwork's done, and all the people been notified the first time.
That's correct.
And they gotta find out who owns it and who doesn't own it.
Yeah, so, well, I got some more questions, and, we'll still deal with that, because it just seems like we're not able to keep up, blight is a problem. It's a really serious issue, and I know that we're doing the best we can, but, we still, there's room for improvement.
We're moving with a sense of urgency. That's why Mr. Johnson asked that it be moved up 2 weeks.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Goins.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.